So I'm sort of an odd duck. And most people at this point are generally trying to get people to follow them and pushing for them to pay more attention to the one that's on the video. I'm going to ask y'all to try to do something a little different. I don't mind you following me, and that's fine. I'm not really looking to be famous. What I would prefer, however, is for somebody to pick up this thing and do it on their own, in their own style. You know, everything that I've got is completely rough draft. This isn't meant to be the pinnacle of advertisement. This is meant to get the idea out there so people pick it up and try to do something with it. And if you do follow me, I'm hoping that you'll attempt some little project of your own somehow, some way, some shape, some form. See what it is that I'm attempting to try to point out to people. Because right now, the biggest reason that we've got some of the most difficult problems in our society today isn't because it's strictly necessary. It's because we've been ignoring our own value. We've been literally throwing ourselves away. And we've been doing it in all sorts of very creative ways that make us believe that we have more security, power, and control than we actually do. So there's a lot of heartfelt and thought and everything put into what I'm kind of currently doing. This is a series of teasers, and it's a very small project, a little tiered garden. But just with what is there, if you're paying attention, it is the beginning of something far larger. And there's a hell of a lot of possibility. I'm hoping I'll be able to have the chance to do a few things to it before I head off to Kentucky. And that's where the real fun begins. So, anyway, longer video, but a little bit of background, a little bit of understanding, hopefully. My mind is kind of slowly slipping and fading, but I'm aware of it, and I'm sort of kind of manipulating myself to try to retain and strengthen what I do have. Not afraid. I've seen it coming, known it was coming for a while, been telling people for decades, and been telling everybody how, the reason why I'm here is at least half part because of doctors. So I'm just going to leave it at that. It's not completely because of them. I've made my own choices, so they aren't just to blame, but they aren't helping. I really hope that I'm able to get people to not follow me, but follow my concept. Recognize the value of what I'm attempting to communicate instead of looking for reasons to devalue what looks very, very simplistic and could easily be dismissed as just a pile of trash. Obviously, the city wanted to start with. I almost didn't get permission to do what I'm doing out back now. I have been fighting for permission for decades. When people finally recognize what it is that I've been pointing out and why I'm calling everybody so stupid that's saying, get a job, when you finally figure it out, then you're going to finally realize that I've never been trying to insult anybody. I've been pointing out a simple truth that everybody's been ignoring. I have learned how to take what people deem of no value and create value with it. Because everything in that garden is very useful. You still have little nooks and crannies that are kind of buried beneath the dirt. That dirt's still settling. The totes keep the worm bin going. And there's a little grated basket inside that kind of makes it so that there's a little more air for some of the worms to go and have something safe. The whole thing is open. It's fed essentially by rainwater that can be developed very easily into a little fountain, which, if I get the chance to, I am going to show. If I don't get a chance to here, I'll get a chance to elsewhere. But these are very important principles. It takes a lot of effort, but it doesn't really take anything else. And for some people, that's all they got. They only have their time. Some people, their minds are slipping. So, how about give them a task that is relatively simple that can provide tremendously for them? And that's what I'm doing. This whole thing is hopefully going to help solve the homeless crisis that has been created in America. This is dangerous for me. That's why it's taken 40 years for me to get this far. Corporate espionage is real. Government doesn't want you to know about this either. That makes it sound very crazy. I'll own it. I'm crazy. But now you need to look. Seriously, look. And then come back to me and decide, am I crazy? That's all for now. I've taken this a lot longer than I usually do. Rising Angel, signing off.